Hey everyone, what is going on? So I have another video for you today in the Open Master League, and these are my battles that I did on stream, and I did really well with this team. I do believe I featured this team already, but I have a limited amount of resources for Master League, so I can only use so much, but this team did really well. I did drop quite a bit in the Spring Cup, but the Master League, at least I'm kind of doing pretty well on it. I do make a lot of mistakes, I'm not going to lie, in this video, but I still am able to win some of those games, and I do have a 4-1, so really solid there. But yeah, so how's everybody doing? I saw the Super Mario movie. I loved it. I thought it was great. I loved all the Easter eggs. Let me know if you saw it or planning on watching it. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into the videos. I went straight for Aura Blast. I didn't think my opponent would shield, and they do not shield, right? Because, I mean, Lugia has such a great matchup against Groudon. I'm going to go for the Sky Attack right now into the Zacian just to get off some damage. Zacian is going to go ahead and fire off an attack. If it's Wild Charge, I know they don't have Play Rough. It is Wild Charge. I mean, I guess they could have Play Rough, but I'm assuming all Zacian carry Close Combat. My opponent is going to switch into Dragonite. Dragonite does go down, and this is looking pretty good. My opponent will concede. So I'm going to be able to take that game. Good game to my opponent. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. Dialga into Dialga. So usually in the mirror match, you know, it really depends. Usually I hope to win CMP, obviously, but I just go straight Draco Media. Usually my opponent's bait. I'm going to be honest. Usually they go Iron Head. I do happen to win CMP in this case, so I'm going to go ahead and go straight Draco. If they want to shield, that's totally fine. My opponent does shield. So what I'm going to do is take this attack. If it's Draco, it KOs. If it's Iron Head, it doesn't KO. I'm going to switch into Lugia. It's Iron Head. So I'm going to go ahead and switch into Lugia. It looked like my opponent undercharged that, but that's fine. Out comes Giratina. Okay, so Giratina does have super effective moves towards my Lugia, but I'm also dishing out super effective damage. My opponent actually baits there. I was kind of surprised about the bait, but I guess I had two shields. They were trying to get a shield there. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Aura Blast, and that will do so much damage. I do feint that Giratina looking pretty good. Out comes Lugia, so I do have a Giratina in the back. I'm going to go ahead and try to get to the Aura Blast, but I actually go for the Sky Attack bait right now, expecting my opponent to shield this. And my opponent will, in fact, shield that, so that's good for me. So I'm trying to get to the Aura Blast. I could have went for another Sky Attack, but then they would have farmed me down. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and try to get to the Aura Blast so they would be forced to throw energy. I'm going to bring in my Giratina right now. My opponent is going to go ahead and throw an attack. I'm going to go ahead and shield this, expecting the Sky Attack, and it is in fact the Sky Attack, but it's still worth the shield, right? Out comes Dialga. I'm going to bring in my own Dialga, and my opponent does farm me down, but basically, so this is interesting. I actually thought Giratina won CMP. That's how unfamiliar I am with Master League. Dialga, I was told, has a little bit higher attack, so I'm actually going to go ahead and click and force the CMP. I should have farmed down, but because I thought I won CMP, I did not farm down. However, it doesn't matter because, well, first of all, I get the boost and I get to the Shadow Ball. So a little bit of a mistake not recognizing that Dialga wins CMP over Giratina. So I could have not thrown that and just farmed down, but that is okay. It ended up working out. Good game. Moving on, we do have an Yveltal in the lead from the opponent. Ouch. Yveltal is tough for this team, especially the back line. So usually when Zacian comes in, I just go straight into my Giratina, because Giratina, even if they have Play Rough, you still survive one. Still has a pretty good matchup, even with the Play Rough. Obviously, if they don't have Play Rough, which is rare, but if they don't have Play Rough, it's obviously a lot better for you. So I'm trying to get to another one. Unfortunately, my opponent does get to the Zacian. I knew it was going to be Play Rough. Should I have shielded? Probably. But I didn't want the... I don't know. It's kind of rough. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Lugia and go for the farm down. Not shielding may have been a mistake there. I'm not sure. But either way, Lugia, I am going to go ahead and take this. Because they have Play Rough, I'm assuming they don't have Wild Charge. They actually switch into Yveltal. So I'm going to bring in my Dialga. And I know this is just a Dark Pulse, so I don't have to shield this one up. They did not charge up for the Focus Blast. Going to go ahead and take that. And I'm going to charge up for the Draco. I think I go straight for it. Yeah, because I do expect my opponent to call the Iron Head. So I just go straight Draco Media, and my opponent does call the Iron Head, and they do not shield, which is good for me. Out comes Dialga. So I'm barely able to get to an Iron Head, which is huge. And Dragon Tail damage is doing pretty good amount of damage. decent damage to the Dialga. So there's still a chance in this battle. My opponent is going to go ahead and throw an attack. I know it's an Iron Head, but I still have to shield it because I am low. They would be able to Dragon Breath me down. I still have to shield it. I'm going to go ahead and throw my Sky Attacks right now. I do have Sky Attack number 1 coming out, and that will pick up the shield. I'm going to continue to farm up, throw another Sky Attack. I got to watch out for a possible catch, right? So I do throw the Sky Attack. My opponent shields. I'm just going to go ahead and throw another Sky Attack. Unfortunately, this does not KO, though. So Sky Attack is coming out. But one more Dragon Tail. Oh, my opponent does get to an attack. I'm going to go ahead and shield it. That is unfortunate. I have to shield this. Okay, Dialga goes down. That is very nice indeed. And I'm trying to farm down Zacian. I'm able to Dragon Tail down the Zacian. OMG. Good game. Well played to my opponent. Glad they were not able to get to another attack. Zacian is another Pokemon I want to build once I can get those XL candy. Good game. Moving on, Dialga into Giratina. Definitely a good matchup for me. We do see a switch into Dialga. So Dialga is kind of rough for this team. Obviously, Giratina doesn't really want to go up against it. Lugia is fine against it, but I'm going to go ahead and chip it and then probably go into Lugia. My opponent does go ahead and shield that. Do I let this one go? I might actually let this go. I do let it go. Usually I let it go, and it is an Iron Head. I think I knew it was an Iron Head because I think they were a little bit short. I think they were a little bit behind me. But regardless, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Lugia right now. I'm going to go ahead and shield this because the Draco Meteor would do a tremendous amount of damage, and it is a Draco. Because it was a Draco, I'm going to be able to farm down. If it was an Iron Head, I'd probably have to throw a Sky Attack, but I do farm down. And now out comes, they actually have Melmetal. That is unfortunate for me that my opponent does have Melmetal. But I'm going to go ahead and throw the Arrow Blast. Does a good amount of damage. I think I want to go for one more Arrow Blast. It doesn't KO, but it will get it low. My opponent is going to be able to throw the Rock Slide. I know Lugia takes it. Lugia is such a tank. It's so good. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that Sky Attack, not Sky Attack, Arrow Blast right now. No shield, and then I'm going to switch into Giratina. My opponent brings in their own Giratina. I think this is where I make another mistake. My opponent throws an attack, and I actually call the Ominous Wind. I should have shielded this Shadow Ball. This is yet another mistake. I'm going to go ahead and throw the bait. I think throwing the bait is fine. It's just I should have shielded that Shadow Ball, right? My opponent does shield it. But unfortunately, I cannot make it to another Shadow Ball, so I go for the Ominous Wind. Yeah, if only I shielded that Shadow Ball, yeah, right? I thought they were going to bait because I just thought they were going to bait. So that's unfortunate for me. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Dialga. Dialga will be hit with an attack. I do go ahead and invest the shield right now. It's going to be an Ominous Wind, obviously, right? And now comes Melmetal. I should have switched right away because I knew the Melmetal was coming in. So it's going to be Superpower. And then they debuff themselves. Can I do one more Dragon Tail? No, my opponent gets to an attack. I'm like a Rock Slide KOs. My opponent actually throws a Superpower. I live it. Can I farm down in time? No, I cannot. Good game. So I do go ahead and lose that one. Well played to my opponent. Moving on, Dialga into Ho-Oh. Alright, so I win this game, but I think I make quite a few mistakes. So let me know what you think. Let me know how you think I should play the Ho-Oh matchup in the lane, because it is a tough matchup. In the past, I have tried to catch on Giratina. In this case, I try to catch. I don't actually catch. My opponent is going to go ahead and throw. I know it's going to be a Brave Bird this time. Usually, I can catch the Sacred Fire, but in that case, I didn't. I don't know if that is the best play to go about it, because whenever I try and catch, even if I catch the Sacred Fire, there's always a Dialga that comes in. So maybe I should stay. Throw the Iron Heads, right? I don't know. Let me know how you would play that matchup. But I'm going to bring in my Dialga. I think I shield this. I do shield it. I think that was too early for the Draco, so perhaps an error on my end. I do believe that was too early. I could be wrong, but so perhaps another mistake there. So let's see what comes in. If it's Ho-Oh, my opponent does have energy. Ho-Oh is coming in. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Iron Head right now, hoping to pick up a shield, of course, from the shiny Ho-Oh, but my opponent doesn't shield it. Good call. My opponent does get off an attack. Should I throw the Draco? I don't know. I mean, it's not necessarily a mistake in that case. It's just the bait didn't work. However, my opponent has Groudon. So that gives me a win condition, right? Because Lugia does well against Groudon. Does it wall it? For the most part, it does. Fire Punch is neutral, but Fire Punch is not doing a lot of damage. And Precipice Blades is resisted. So, unless they have some crazy move like... I don't even think it learns Hyper Beam. But unless if they have some crazy move like Hyper Beam that I'm not aware of, which I don't expect anyway. I don't think it has Hyper Beam, by the way. I think it has Solar Beam. But still, I resist Solar Beam anyway. And the moves you're going to see is Precipice Blades and Fire Punch anyway. So Fire Punch is coming out totally fine. I'm going to go ahead and throw this Sky Attack just to get a shield from my opponent. Maybe just should have committed to the farm down instead of throwing. Probably should have, to be honest, because I know my opponent does have 2 shields. So I'm going to go ahead and let this Fire Punch go. And unfortunately, my opponent makes it to another one. I could take it, but I do go ahead and shield. I think I should have taken it because I wasn't sure if... I thought Ho-Oh, and here's another mistake. I thought Ho-Oh would make... I let an Incinerate go through. I throw on terrible timing. So I thought... Like, I must have been miscounting because I thought they made it to another attack, but they did not. So I still make it to the Sky Attack. So I'm still going to... So a lot of mistakes in this final game, but I'm still able to take it. Good game. Well played to my opponent. Yeah, I'm going to be able to win that one. I'm going to get a 4-1, get back up to 2650. As I said, I did drop a lot in the Spring Cup, unfortunately. Not my favorite meta. I liked it at first. I don't know. But either way, I'm looking forward to the Great League coming back and the Ultra League, right? As well as the Evolution Cup, although I think Chansey will ruin the Evolution Cup like it did last time, in my opinion. But either way, great games to my opponents. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.